Hello, Pete. Good morning. Early 9:45 on Monday. Normally, not the kind of time that I would run comic book investment chat, but guess what? Why am I doing this today? It's a holiday and the stock market is closed. Normally, right now, 9:45, the market is open and things are fast and furious in the stock market, but not today. Boring Monday morning for me because the market is closed. I caught up on my Netflix binging. So I have a lot of free time to sit around and do nothing. Actually, I just sat down and shoot a video that I probably will load sometime. I got too many on queue, so there's no rush to get anything out for people to watch. But it will be a fun one to watch. Uh, it will be a fun series to make and to watch. Hello, Captain Comics. But some housekeeping before I continue. Thank you, everybody, for participating in the comic book auction that ended yesterday. And double thank you for most people that paid right away. Big kudos to that. And because the post office is closed today, I just want to show you the 5 package that already been packed and ready to go to the post office first thing tomorrow. So yes, hello Thomas Churchill. Um, so yeah, hopefully this week I will sit down and grade the next batch of books that I plan to auction off last week of February. So that's my big duty. Maybe later today after lunch. My son is home. There's no school either. He's still sleeping. He's sleeping late today. Um, but so hopefully I will get that part done. So if I can get the video, the grading done for those books and the video shot for those, then I will launch the auction this weekend and have it end at the end of February as planned. If not, it's gonna be maybe a week after and end the first week of March. But that's the plan. The plan is to get to that part, and then after that, I might take a little pause. Hello, Jim Botram, because it's a lot of work. Anyone that understand anything about selling, shipping, packing, collecting money, all that stuff, it's a chore. So my next big task for those that have not followed me closely on what I'm selling is that I am pulling a lot of DC horror, bronze, early silver, late silver, early bronze, or mostly bronze, as well as DC war books. Okay, so DC war books and DC bronze horrors are the books that I am pulling or have been pulling as far as the next stuff that might be up for sales. A viewer, have approached me to buy the bulk of those books, and what I will plan to do is, of course, go through, grade them, categorize them, okay, like log them as far as like what issue, blah blah blah, grade them, and then the difficult part, price them. One reason why I do what I have done so far uh, in the last 2 months is that a lot of time I know the slab market very well as far as value. I know the keys value fairly well as far as slab and keys, even raw. That's why I can buy stuff and to flip and pick up bargains. Happy Family Day, yes. Greeting from Michigan. Hello, Jack B. So that's easy for me to price all that stuff. But when it comes down to raw non-keys, especially non-keys, I don't really follow those kind of activities on eBay to know what the heck is the fair value. That's why I put them up for auction. A lot of people have contacted me privately via email and asked, "Hey, can I name a price, and if I agree to that, can you sell that to me and bypass the auction?" I have gotten quite a few of those emails, but to be honest, I don't really know what's the fair value is, or what's the right value. So I just throw them up in the auction for people to bid on them, and I can live with whatever. The minimum bid that I put out there for each lot or each book is basically the kind of price that I am willing to part with the book. Whether it is way below fair market value, I don't care. Okay. But that's how I price things as far as, the starting bid for each lot or each books or whatever it is. That's basically how I approach the auction. To speed things up, I'm not going to put things at 99 cents and wait for 20 people to bid up to $20 when I know it can go for $20 easily on eBay. So that's how my starting bids work. And I let people that really want the book to bid after. Brett is here, say the tax on eBay are killing me. Um, I can say that occasionally when I buy something on eBay, still I don't get the tax. So I don't understand how the whole tax thing work and how eBay decide to place a tax on a certain purchase and not tax on another purchase. I don't know. I do pay attention when I check out to see if they tag on the tax, and sometimes they don't. Shipping, yes, TH Comics is in Canada, correct? Canadian is expensive. Oh my God. Um, and as bad as Canadian shipping is, it is still cheap compared to the rest of the world. Okay, as bad as Canadians get for eBay shopping or comic book shopping, I'm telling you, you'd be stunned at the prices of shipping to other country. I got a viewer recently that was interested in bidding on a bunch of books, and he asked me, Can you tell me what the cost is to ship a book, two books, three books, or whatever it is?" And I look it up. It was to South Africa, and holy cow, uh, the cost is double. But I understand, you're talking about flying halfway around the world, but still, it makes zero sense to even collect comic books, really, sadly, when it costs you at the minimum $35 to ship one book. Yeah, that's how much it costs. It's like $35 to ship one raw book that weighed like 8 ounce. Insane, insane. Okay, so yeah, when I see that kind, I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. One book, $35, and if you go to like three books, it become like $60 or 55. Yeah, insane, absolutely insane. Jack B asks, "Are your auction on specific days and time?" Um, Pretty much. I always end the auction usually on a Saturday or a Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Now, why do I pick 1 p.m. Eastern time? Because usually after lunch, I have free time to make sure I close the auction on time accurately and record who won and all that stuff and invoice people. So it's the best time for me. Plus, at 1 p.m. Eastern time, it gave enough time for people even in the West Coast, if they want to wake up at 10 a.m. to place a bid at the latest. So it's enough time. And sure, can I end it at 8 p.m. Sunday? I can do that too, but For me, I don't want to sit around my computer at 8 p.m. on a Sunday or Saturday. I just rather end it at 1 p.m. It works for me. I have been doing that format now for the last 4 or 5 auctions. Yeah, it works. Um, let's see who else is here. Oh, Biggie Shack is here. Hello, Biggie Shack. Beck the Snake is here as well. Okay, so this is a comic book investment chat. So I want to talk a little bit about investment. Usually, I try to compare and analyze the way the comic book investment hobby is compared to the stock market. Hello, John. Um, I appear on a podcast live chat with another YouTuber last week, Comic Book Wars. They invite me on there, and I touch on one topic slightly that after the chat I felt I should elaborate. Oh wow, Jack B, you're too generous, my friend. Not every day that somebody give me any kind of super chat. So thank you. But I want to elaborate on a topic that I touched on during that chat at Comic Book Wars. I talk about buying slab and selling slab higher during the boom market that we had in prior to 2018. Prior to 2018, from 2012 through 2018, we got such a good, strong, vibrant market that a lot of people can make decent profit buying slab and flipping them, because the market was going up. When you have a market that's go up, sometimes 25% on big keys from one year to another, you can buy a slab and turn around and sell that slab a year after and make 25%. Yeah, that was possible. Some people was doing that. It was feasible. And I want to equate and elaborate on that with the stock market. One of the things that occur in the stock market from time to time during a bull market run is what people coin momentum investing, momentum trading, momentum. Because that's when you um, have a bull market, things are going gangbuster. You don't have to worry about buying things on the cheap. One of the things that I learned early in my early days in investing, working for investment firm back in 1996 through 2000, was the saying during a bull run that was repeated by a lot of professionals on TV: buy high, sell higher. Okay, during the crazy internet bubble of 1998, 1999, that was very common. You see a lot of bullish portfolio managers and hedge funds people talk about forget about buying things on the cheap, forget about buying value stock. It is about buy high, sell higher. Okay, so that's is a big part of momentum investing and momentum trading because the momentum is going that way. Okay, so I want to equate that kind of mental mindset with the way the hobby was prior to 2019. You have a boom market, a raging bull market in keys of all sort, even non-keys or non-big keys. A lot of speculative books and all kind of craziness. But that's what happened during that crazy market. You had a environment where you can buy high and sell higher. it works. Okay, it was working for a long time, multiple years. It was not a short stint of madness. It was a long dose of craziness. Indeed, Biggie Shack, it take money to make money. I have said that and repeat that many, many times on my channel. But now that that environment is pretty much gone for now, I'm not saying gone for good, okay? As in with many market, whether it's real estate or stock market or comic book investing, there will be bull run and there will be a correction or a bear market. Now, are we in a bear market? Time will tell. It could be. When you have a 20-25% fall down in many big books, some people would call that a bear market. Uh, some people would call that a crash. Some people would call that a correction. I'm just going to call it a crash. Now, if we have the crash, as we already had, but it's going to keep on sliding slower for the next year, for the rest of this year, then I think it would not be wrong to categorize it as a bear market, because now you're talking multiple years. Okay, if you have a bad 2019 and 2020 was even, well, worse is not the right word, because sure, it keep on going down, but it didn't go down as much as far as the magnitude or the percentage. But if you go down, say in general, 25% in 2019, and then if the market slide another 5% or even 10% in 2020, well, guess what? It's not a rebound. We're in a bear market, because if you combine the 2 years, you're talking 30 to 40% decline on many big books, right? So we'll see. It's too early for me to call this is a bear market. But even if someone want to use that term, this is a bear market, I wouldn't debate that you're wrong. It's okay. I mean, it's terminology. It doesn't matter. uh, at the end of the day, the numbers matter. Okay, the magnitude of the decline of many books matter, and you can put lipsticks on the pig however which way you want. It's still not pretty as far as the decline of last year, as well as the continued decline of this year. Hello, Jim Colura. Make the snake. Hello, and double triple X. um, so yeah, momentum trading, momentum investing, that is not the current market that we have. Sadly, that trend is over for now. Um, the way that I flip comic books, I think I can even equate that to what the professional portfolio manager out there will call value investing, because I try to find value. I try to buy things on the cheap. And that works in any environment. It might not work as well in a raging bull run, but I think it does work well enough for me to enjoy an easy flip for the past many years. Okay, I stay out of the hot book games. I stay out of the buy high, sell higher game. I was able to find bargains. I was able to find value over the past few years in the market and make this money. So I equate my strategy to what Wall Street people would call value investing. It works. You can find value, you can find deals in any environment, you can make a buck. Immortal Biggie Shack said, going to grab a DC Ghost One, the skeleton marriage cover. Yes, tough books. Tough book to find in high grades. Took me forever to find. I think my copy is maybe an 8.5. I don't think my copy is even a 9, but it took me a long time. It's a beautiful cover. I believe it was a Nick Cardy cover. TH Comics said, I prefer holding until I make a good profit. Yeah, that's, when it comes down to that strategy, there's nothing wrong with that strategy. It's about what's more important before that strategy kick in, as far as holding until you make a good profit, is your entry point. Okay. That's one of the things that I harp on and discuss often with many traders. People always ask, what's a good stock to buy? That's not the question. That's the wrong question to ask. There's a lot of good stocks to buy, just like there are a lot of good books to buy. The question, and most important question, is what's your entry point? Okay. If your entry point is high, it doesn't matter how good the book is, it doesn't matter how good the stock is, you are likely not going to make a good profit. Or or you will have to wait a long time to turn a profit. Does that make sense? Um, Same thing with another comment by TH Comics says sometimes I have to average the price down. Same thing with stocks. Okay. My strategy on buying stocks is, let's say I want to buy 300 share of Apple at the current price. I don't know if the current price is a good price. There's no way I will go out there right now and buy all 300 share on the same trade. Never, never. What would I do? Now, some trader will have a strategy where they would say never average down. Your first buy, if you pick the right entry point, and some trader can do this. I know traders that are very disciplined where they said, I'm going to be very patient. If a stock comes down to this level, I will buy. If it doesn't, so be it. I will not touch it. There are very disciplined traders out there that will do that. I'm not one of those traders. I might look at the stock and say, gee, I like that stock a lot, but I certainly don't want to buy it right now. But if it dropped to this level, I will nibble a little bit. Now, if I want to buy 300 share, what would I do? Would I buy 200 as my first trade? Heck no. I would put in, say, 50. I would buy 50 share at the first trade. Okay. And sometime that was it. The stock took off and I missed out on making money on potentially another 250 share. There are many situations where I bought 50 thinking that I will have a chance to add lower. Didn't happen. But at least I got in a small position and boom, I make money on the 50. Sometimes I buy 50 and guess what? Sometimes even on the same day, something bad happened and the stock dropped 5%. I'm like, dang it. Guess what? That's when it's time to average down, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next week, whenever. But the next trade likely will be bigger. So my first buy would be 50. The next buy lower, I might buy 100. Okay. So does that make sense? At least that's my strategy. But like I said, it all depends on the stock, depend on the reason why the stock dropped, all that stuff. But always, my first trade in any position is the smallest. Dip my toes in a position slowly. Um, Hello, Slim. Sif AF asked me, would you buy Funker stock right now that it is down? Um, for those that follow my video, I did take a small position exactly at $8.50. You know where the stock is right now. I am in the money already. Now it's a very small position. Go back to the previous example I talked about. If I want to take a position of say 500 share in Funko to gamble to have fun because it's not the kind of company I like to invest in. I don't believe in the company long term. I don't care. I'm just here to make a quick buck. So yeah, my first trade is not 500 shares. It's something less, but I got in and I got enough money profit right now to buy myself a steak dinner. Now, is it does that mean that I'm done buying Funko? If the stock go to 10, I have to watch and wait. It's all about understanding the situation. Right now, the market is not a good place to put a lot of money in. We have serious issue, the coronavirus. It's a lot of bad things can still happen. Okay, I'm not bullish on the market whatsoever, but at the same time, it doesn't pay to be super bearish. It pay to be careful. So yes, I have taken a small position. Would I recommend people to buy Funko stock right here, right now? No. One of the reasons I left the business many years ago because I hate talking to people. I hate recommending stock to people because people behave very odd. I used to run after I left the business altogether. I used to have a group of friends and family that I put in one email group, okay, that I would email my trades so that they see what I'm doing. I even write a monthly report of because I was still pretty much living in that world. I used to write a monthly report on what I think about the market, how the market behaved this previous month, and why I think it did what it did, what I think about the next month, and what stock I'm watching. I used to write a fancy report and email to friends and family for free, okay? And it was a thankless job. After a while, I hated the emails that I receive from people because 9 out of 10 times people don't do what I recommend. Okay, when I say I'm buying this stock last week for this price, 9 out of 10 people, if not 10 out of 10 people, think they are smarter than me, so they don't want to buy at that price. They think they can get it lower, and guess what? They miss out. Okay, and then on things that I said I'm selling, I sold something right now or this week because I'm done with this position. 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10 times, people think they are smarter than me and they didn't sell. They want to sell it higher. And guess what? Sometimes that didn't pan out very well. And the stock tanked and they lost money and then they complain, they whine, they bitch, they do way too many of those situations to deal with. And so after a while, I'm like, I'm done. So around 2010, I think, was the last of it. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done with this email service thing with my friends because I'm just like, you guys can trade on your own, but I'm not recommending any more stocks. I'm not going to tell you what I buy, what I sell, because it's a thankless job. You don't pay me for my advice. You don't follow my advice. So do not bitch to me about what's not working. Keep your mouth shut. So yeah, I bought it for myself, a very small position as far as entry point. If I feel that the market is, if I feel that the market does not have the threat of the coronavirus and economic impacts, all that stuff, that stuff need to simmer down, need to get under control. Okay, I do not need to see the increasing counts of people getting sick, the increasing death tolls. I don't need to see that. We do not need to see China completely locked down for weeks and weeks and weeks and think that is not hurtful for the world economy. So I need to see that stop as far as the spread. If that's over, if that's behind us, and I see strength in consumer excitement for Baby Yoda or whatever next Marvel craze is, then hey, if I bought Funko stock at $8.50, regardless if I don't believe in the company long term, regardless if I believe that it's a fad that will never last, I don't care. I care for the near term, 6 months, 9 months down the road. If I see a huge excitement for demand for Funko, well, guess what? It's not going to stop at 10. It probably can go much higher than 10 or 12, right? So would I add more at 9.50, at 10 or 11? Why not? If a year from now it can be 20, right? So unlike a lot of people, you know, I don't mind taking a small position. I don't mind adding later at a higher price if the situation call for. It's all about the entry point, okay? Entry point and expectation. You got to have that thing set in your mind when you enter a trade. It's not about buying and hoping is not the formula for success in the stock market. No. TH Comics, same thing with Cruise Line. Okay. I make decent money on investing in Carnival, trading, not investing. I trade Carnival Cruise, I trade Royal Caribbeans. But my God, was I happy? Was I happy to be out of Carnival Cruise Line? I think I got out like $6 higher than what it is right now. So I skipped the carnage that happened with Carnival Cruise Line. So I like cruising stock as far as a trade. Okay. I like it. I make good money on trading cruise line. The last time I traded cruise line stock was when President Trump announced that he is going to ban cruising to Cuba. And people was freaking out. Oh my God, it's gonna hurt the cruise stock. As if the cruise to Cuba amount to something significant. You think that's how you capitalize in a stock market when people act irrationally. Okay, when people look at the headline, oh my God, President Trump just banned cruising to Cuba. Yeah, the one cruise a week, that's going to impact the bottom line. Guess what? You know what Carnival Cruise and Royal Caribbean will do with that extra ship? They're just going to move it to Florida to cruise to the Caribbean or Bahama or something, right? It's nonsense. But I as a stock trader love those kind of headlines, those negative headlines where people are freaking out. Go ahead and freak. Sell your stock 10% lower so I can get in. Thank you, John Valenzuela. As far as your question, I saw a question earlier about Adventure Comics 317. It's rare. Again, let me explain about rare. Okay, there's no doubt Adventure Comics 317 9.0 is rare. The bigger question is there a reason why it is rare? Sometimes rare because there's only a few books in the census equal not that much demands. Okay, so don't look at the census in a vacuum. Don't look at the census and say there's only 5 copies of this. It's rare. There are books that you can look at the census like Detective 31 and say, oh my God, it's only 34 or 40 copy, whatever that number is, and say it's rare because it is rare and the demand is high. That's why that book is like, the entry point for that book is like $10,000. for even like a 1.0 or incomplete copy, something like that. So rarity, census, it means something for some books, and for some books, a lot of DC books, believe it or not, especially Silver Age keys, have so low census because a lot of DC collectors just don't bother to slap or prefer raw book. I don't know. I don't know the real reason, but if you look at Batman, Batman is a huge character with tons of fans, right? Go and look at the census on many Silver Age Batman books. You'll be floored of how low they are. Does that mean that it's a rare book? No. It just means that a lot of people don't care to slap the books because the demand for the slab, for that title, for those books, is just not there. For if the demands are there, demands drive the census. I talked about this in other videos before. It's usually the demands that drive the census. If you look at the way the census on many books, many hot books blow up, guess what? Nobody cares about many books until the movie news or whatever. And then the census blow up from like 30 copies to 600 copies. And then nobody cares anymore about that book and the price crashes. Okay, so never look at census in a vacuum because it does not measure demands. Does that make sense? Yes. Slim Comics said the stock market is a cruel world. Just have to do your homework, supplies and demand. Anything can drop the market. Many things will drop the market. Uh, there's a lot of factors that can drop the market. I mean, my biggest pain trade that I had to experience uh, this past month is my exposure to oil. Okay, I mean, I have position in oil company and oil related businesses. Surely the problem in China hurt demands. You notice how cheap gas is, right? So yeah, I mean, when a big part of China is crippled, where no one is driving, nobody is going to work, they freeze air flights, everything. The whole country is frozen. Guess what? Demand will drop. Oil demand will drop significantly overnight and continue to drop in the past couple of weeks. So guess what? Oil stock hammer. Okay, so yeah, a lot of things can impact things directly or indirectly. You just have to be quick on your feet, keep your head on the swivel. If you play in a stock market, okay, some people approach the stock market with, I buy something, I don't care, I'm gonna hold it forever. I don't advise that. Okay, I advise that if you're gonna buy a stock, regardless if it's a great company, regardless if it's Home Depot or Amazon or whatever, keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you stay on top of the current news because the stock market can hammer a good company. Okay, it can, it has, and it will do it again and again. Um, Mr. Free's first appearance was hot and spiked, no doubt. Pretty sure it came down to, oh yeah, I mean, if you look at the DC Silver Age books, whether it's Mr. Freeze, I already showed that in my auction recap or market report. I think at least on one or two of those video, I show how poorly those Silver Age books, DC Silver Age key, whether it's the first Supergirl or that kind of golden age, right? But first Poison Ivy, you name it, it's weak. There is no trying to paint something pretty by saying thing that's not true. They went down, most of them, by a lot. Do you think CGC will raise price to slap? Um, I don't know. Eventually, they will. Eventually, it's just like everything else in life. Most company will raise price. They will use any kind of excuses to raise price, and you're not gonna see price cut. Okay, even with competition with CBCS the last few years, do you see price cut, a price war? No. It's always funny for me because for so many years I told all of my friends, look at Starbucks. Starbucks have used the excuse of higher coffee prices to raise prices so many times. If you follow Starbucks, the stock, the company, I'm sure you can pinpoint at least half a dozen situations in the past decade where they raise price and use the price of coffee as the reason why they have to raise price. Complete bollocks. Okay, you know why? Because as with many commodities, if you follow commodities, the price of coffee go up and down and up and down and up and down. Has Starbucks ever cut prices when the price of coffee go down? Ever? Of course not. They will use that reason, that nonsense, to raise the price by 25 cents a cup or whatever it is, whenever they want to make more money to satisfy Wall Street. A good tactics. Consumer is just too damn stupid to understand simple math. Raising price because coffee is up. You buy that? I don't. You know, as a consumer, I understand the business enough, but I'm not blind to common sense and facts. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you don't agree, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look at the price of coffee over the past 15 years and see how up and down it is, and go back and see how many times Starbucks raised prices because coffee price is up. They don't lower prices when coffee price is down. Hello, man cave. Collectible. Oh, just look at the time. Oh, it's already 10:30 almost. So 15 minutes to go before I had to think about what's for lunch. Yeah, one of those lazy day. So yes, I do think CGC will raise price. When? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if CBCS raise prices, that you will see if one of them take the move. If either company make a move of raising prices, the other one will follow. Because why not? Has people stopped submitting to CGC because they raised prices in the past 20 years? Has anybody said, oh, that's it, they raised the slabbing fee from $18 for modern to 20, I'm done. Has anybody? So guess what? It's a moot point whether they raise price or not. If they do, it won't stop the consumer anytime soon. I don't see it happening. Man Cave said he does not drink coffee. Slim Comics said Starbucks has one of the biggest store in Chicago. Expensive, yes. It's kudos to Starbucks. Okay, kudos to Starbucks because I grew up, of course, for many people, we grew up on cheap Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, I told my son, I I used to be able to go to Dunkin' Donuts, get 2 donuts and a large coffee, regular with cream and sugar, for $1.99 or even lower. I can't remember the exact price, but I told him it was under $2 for 2 donuts and a big coffee, big one, venti size. Okay. Now, what can you get for $2? A bagel, a donut. Oh my God, it's insane. Yeah, that's called inflation and everything else. So would they ever raise prices? Absolutely. It's not if, it's a matter of when. And when that happen, most likely would be in the 10% range. I can see CGC bump everything up by 10% within the next 2 years. Yes, you heard it here first. Easily, yeah. Man Cave Comics. My God, we have Man Cave collectibles and now Man Cave Comics. Yeah, there's a lot of Man Cave here. Oh, speaking of Man Cave, you notice that I switched the film poster behind me. Um, they are over there. They were basically I have 9 film poster all over the room, and I keep them in the same spot for the past 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. But some people was complaining that not that this help. Okay, I doubt that by just switching the 3 poster back there, people would say, "Oh, now he got the right background and things are sweet looking and it's no longer bland." Guess what? It's still bland. um, Man Cave said he's tired of market manipulation. Are you talking about the comic market or are you talking about the stock market? I don't know. I'm assuming you're talking about the comic book market. The artist formerly known as Hey Mike is here. I just passed on a Batman 227 CBCS 5.5 because someone had written 10 cents on it for a garage sales. It was $200. My brain could decide if it was a good deal or not. Did I messed up? Um, it's not a good deal. It's not a bad deal. I don't have GPA open and I'm too lazy to open it right now to look for you, but I don't think it's a deal that you can't pass up. Okay, from my understanding of the value of that book, it's not a good deal, it's not expensive, but if the eyesore on the book bothers you, it would never stop bothering you, in my opinion. You know, I'm different. Some people can learn to love something, not me. I have my own criteria of what is acceptable and what's not. I avoid buying things that I think is ugly. Sure, I have some ugly books in my collection, but for the most part, I try to avoid buying things that become an eyesore later. For the most part, okay, I'm not successful at completely ignoring good deals. Oh, Man Cave clarified that he is tired of the manipulation of the comic market. Um, the manipulation of the comic market has been going on for quite some time. Okay, unfortunately, you're not gonna like to hear what I'm gonna tell you. Unfortunately, until the people stop being gullible, it will not stop. Okay, um, the channels that hype, pump, dump, talking garbage, talking nonsense, hyping rumors and all that stuff until people stop paying attention. If they stop paying attention, they might not stop. Okay. Uh, I talked about this in the podcast with Comic Book Wars. I said that I come up with the term tabloid collecting to describe the state of the hobby a while ago. You know, people love the sensational nonsense, regardless of how true it is. Okay. The big channels on YouTube that talk about movies, superhero movies. Okay. They pump out videos daily. sometimes twice a day. They will have videos on cut scenes or end credit scenes and talk about potential this, potential that forever. I mean, I give them credits that they can pick the end credit scenes of a superhero movie and come up with 50 theories. Sometimes it's the same damn theory a month later, but for some reason, people gobble up because those videos, they get tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views. Okay, so that's the state of the hobby, is that there is a thirst. I also coined this a long time ago. We are in the thirsty generation. People just can't get enough of fake news. Just give it to me. I don't care how much nonsense it is. I'm thirsty for this stuff. Okay. Hey, it works. Those channels have millions of subscribers. It doesn't matter if 99% of what they say is not true. It's sensationalized. It's fiction. It made up stuff. People love them. So the market is manipulated because it can be manipulated, and because people listen to them. Okay, it's out of my control. It's out of your control, but it's in the hand of the majority. And right now, the majority is saying, "Give me more. I can't get enough of this stuff." It is what it is. Um, Felix came in with the price of 350 for CGC. Okay, as far as Batman 227, and if you follow my recent CBCS versus CGC video, you realize that a lot of CBCS books are selling for what, 30 to 50% below CGC price. Yeah, that is why I said it's not high, it's not low. I realize the CGC price. I know I have an idea of the price range of CGC price, but when the viewer asked me about CBCS, you know how the market look at CBCS, right? It's just because if a CGC book is selling for 300 and you knock off a third, hello, 200. Yeah, so is it a good deal? Obviously, the person that asks you 200 for that book is willing to take a third or more, 40% less than a CGC copy. I hear this all the time before I go. I hear this all the time. Oh, buy CBCS because that's a bargain. My question is, it's not about is CBCS a bargain. My question is, who is willing to give away 30 to 50% bargain? Who? Well, obviously a lot of people, right? There's a lot of people out there that don't care. I don't care about CGC. I hate CGC. They are money grabbing a-hole. They are this and that. And CBCS is not money grabbing. Oh, the nonsense, bias nonsense. Okay, if you hate CGC for whatever reason, and you're willing to sell something at 35 to 50% less, so be it. The buyers wins. So congratulations to people that buy the CBCA, that buy those slabs. You get a bargain. Congratulations. As far as, it does not impact the CGC seller or buyer whatsoever. Okay. The loyalty of both companies are very well defined. Okay. The CGC people is not going to worry one bit. Oh my God, the CBCS slab is selling for X dollar less. Is that going to hurt? Guess what? People are willing to pay more for the CGC book. Be happy. You win. Okay. The only one that I question, like, are you okay with taking so much less money, is the people that submit the book to CBCS. Right now, I'm guessing the answer is yes. They don't care. They hate, they despise, their hatred for CGC, Trump money. Good for you. If if that's if you're okay with getting 40% less money, that is. But don't but let's try not to use the a lot of CBCS seller then turn around and trying to justify they get less by saying, oh, CGC buys are stupid. You're overpaying for everything. Don't throw stone at the glass house. Yeah. Don't try to justify your whatever with that reasoning. You ain't that bright either. Okay, in my book. Wow. Hello from Western Australia. Key comic market was. Thank you. Yes. I'm sure what I just said offended some CBCS fanboy, but that's the truth. The truth is, I hear this all the time from CBCS fanboys. CGC buys are stupid. They are way overpaid for everything. How about using the same common sense? You are underpricing everything, huh? Yeah? You like less money? Is this a charity? I didn't know you were running a charity. Your buys appreciate the charity. Anyhow, I will end the chat shortly, and I'm going to check the chat one more time to make sure that I did not miss any pertinent questions. Sleepy Readers here. Hello, Damien. People want to believe in fantasies. Absolutely. People that collect comic books seem to not able to separate fiction and fantasy from reality. Crazy, right? It's crazy. The hobby is crazy. Okay, I can say this. I enjoy the hobby, but a big part of this hobby do not make a lot of sense for me. Okay, I appreciate the opportunities to make money in the hobby. Absolutely, I'm not a hypocrite. I talk about this many times on my channel. I like to collect comic books, but I like to collect money even more. So I'm blunt and honest about that. I'm not going to masquerade about, I love the book so much. No, I like money more. Lost S asked a question. Let me answer that one real quick. You said that CBCS grader are harder than CGC. My thoughts, I talk about this on a few videos, and I disagree wholeheartedly that they are tougher. One thing that they are consistent at all companies, whether it's CGC, PGX, and CBCS, all three companies, one thing all three are consistent at is they are consistent at being inconsistent. That's the way it has been for 20 years at CGC. CBCS have plenty of slabs that are overgraded or undergraded, and the same can say with CGC. Okay, it's the same thing. If every CBCS book is tightly graded where you can get a great bump at CGC, why then is not everyone trample over each other to buy CBCS book to reslap at CGC? Yes, some people are doing that, but it's not in mass. Okay, if that was the case, back up the truck, let me put in $1 million. You go out there and you buy every single CBCS slab, and let's drive that U-Haul truck to CGC, slap them, and then flip them for 25% more money. Who's gonna turn down a chance to make 25% on $1 million? Easy money, guarantee money. Back up your mouth with that. Okay. Every time I hear people say those CBCS is strict, I'm like, back it up with your mouth and money. Okay. Money, money, money back up facts, not just this nonsense belief shit. It's shit. Uh, Hopefully that came across clear. Yeah. Anyhow, Sean Green as Avengers Annual 10 Raw VF. Uh, I do have a copy myself, to make it clear, and I'm too lazy to submit the book. It's you know, I'm not big on trying to chase after the movie hype. It's eventually I will sell the book. It's not a big deal. I I think the hype with the movies and the TV shows are definitely short-lived these days. These days, right? I mean, I can, when the news that Rogue or it's gonna be right. Sure, you see a slew of activities on eBay. Yeah, you see a slew of them, but it's not like 50 copies flew off eBay that day, and then the next few days, and the same kind of activities. It dies down pretty quickly, you know. So kudos to those that was at the right place at the right time to be able to capitalize on that. But um, my advice is if you have a copy and you want to sell, you missed the big window once already, right? So for now, if you're gonna slab it or if you want to sell it raw, just wait until the actual news. So far, it has been rumors, right? It's just been rumors and talk. Wait until the actual news and the casting. There will be another spike. You will have another opportunity to sell it higher than what it is right now. So if you want to sell and make some buck off Rogue first appearances, and you miss out the big spike at the beginning last week, just be patient in a few weeks or months. If the news is true, you will get another chance to sell. That's how I do it. Okay. A lot of time I don't get the chance to be at the right place to sell something on the spot, but that's okay. There will be a second chance and even a third chance. Just don't miss it the second time around. Hazel coffee, yes. Yeah, to me, Rogue, it's here's the thing with characters. Okay, I talk about this before I go. I just noticed it's 10:48 already. I run past the 1 hour already. Before I go, I want people to understand that there has been many very popular characters that the books did not go much higher, regardless of how popular that character is. Do I need to talk about Star Lord? Do I need to talk about Rocket Raccoon? Okay, I have shown comparison of the value of these books over time after the spike. Okay, they're not good investment whatsoever. Okay, if you're lucky to buy those books for cheap and you can sell them on the spike, do it. Take the money, be happy. But I'm not in the business of recommending people to buy Rocket Raccoon first appearances 7 years ago and thinking that it's a pot of gold today. It's not. Okay, so regardless of how popular Rogue is going to be, or Ironclad, or whatever, I mean, it's like I said, there are news every day on the possible next big thing. Guess what? Has my comparison for Ronin, or whatever you want to call that, has that crash and burn not enough of a lesson? So I don't get it. To be honest with you, I don't get the mental mindset of the way the thirsty market is following many of these books, because they just can't get enough. It's just like, it doesn't matter what the facts bear out to be. It doesn't matter if I show you Ronan first appearances crash and burn went from 200 to $60 right now. It will not stop some people from buying the next hot book and think it's a good investment. It will not stop. Okay, I talked about this already. I've shown enough facts. People don't care. That's fine. Can't save everybody. I'm not here to save anyone. I'm here to just give you the facts. You might not like to hear the facts, but it is what it is. Yes, Gamora, you name it. There is so many. Okay, it's the plethora of characters that has been in the universe now, as far as the movie universe, is so many. And you know at some point, you know before I go, I will end this with one of my favorite saying. I don't think I coined this. I think other people have said it, but I'm just going to repeat it. Okay, you're going to run out of money before you run out of stupid. Okay, that's someone else has said this, and I remember hearing it, but it's very true. People will run out of money before they run out of stupid, because that's just the way the world works. I mean, you can tell someone a million times that it's not a good investment, it's not a good decision. They will do it until they have nothing left to do it with. Huh. But that's it. Jesse Sweet, I'm the last person you want to hear what is a good buy right now. Okay, my mantra. Before I go, Jesse, my mantra is what? Anything is a good buy if you can buy it 30 to 40% below fair market value. There is no good buy paying retail. No such thing. This is not. Go back and listen to my previous first 20 minutes of this podcast. There is no such thing as buy high and sell higher in this market. Okay, so pick the bargain. Those are good buys. Later, people, time to get ready and think about what to make for lunch for the family. Bye bye.